We have to stand up to these things. It is an issue which we have to crack down. We have to stand up to it. We don't have to use the idea of God as a means of scaring away the very problems that we have to deal with. It's like bringing a child up, and eventually you have to work and leave that child alone in that house, and there won't be anyone to take care of the child. And if you have planted into the child's head, or you have sort of instilled into the child's head the idea of God, then you know that you have put the child in the state of thinking there is an invisible God, ghost or invisible spirit out there who's watching him. And so it gives you a sense of safe idea, or safe, control or guide on that child, and that child will not mess things up or will not do anything that's stupid that you wouldn't want that child to do. So wherever you are, wherever you go, you leave the child, you feel the child is okay. And that strategy may work for children, and in some level, when the child grow up, it will be your responsibility to point to that child that is now a grown-up person, that it was just a method that you are using to bring him up or to bring her up. It is your responsibility to point to that child that, hey, those ways or those things I was telling you, they are not really true. I had to say those things to keep you right. And you can use the same method for your children. You have to release that child from that captive state that you put him into, or you put her into, that she lived her life thinking someone was watching over her head. Free her from that state. She's old now. She has to be free and independent to move on with her life. But we normally don't do that. We leave it as it is. If the child discovers it, so be it. If he doesn't discover it, okay. But that is what the problem. This is the issue. Someone living all her life or his life thinking that the image he saw about Jesus Christ was true, or what is actually the fact. And later realizing that is not the issue. And how is he going to deal with that issue? Because the parent or whoever he introduced him, or the institution, have not openly come to admit it, in his adult state, that, this was just made up idea, to represent something real, something that was real. So you have to get that, corrected. It's been put in dictionaries and other books and other books and all, but it's not enough. Not many people know books or read books or see that. There are illiterates who have been deceptively, unintentionally be convinced in this manner and grown up into that state. Then they also fairly needs to be told the truth. So it is our responsibility as a parent, or as whatever institution we may be, guardians, to sort of recorrect the methods that we use, that we know they were all just made up to sort of be able to achieve something that they were pursuing, or they were trying to, they were responsibly, dealing with at the time, And if that is not done, and they leave it for the children to sort of, some may pass away in that same, belief. Some may live to find out. And when they find out, they begin to, just like my situation, approach it in an angry way. Others may be very calm and sort of make changes, and others may take it in a different way. But that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. If you want to say God is good, he must be good in every way you present him. But you cannot present him in a negative or different way and say that is God, and still say God is good. That is quite strange and odd. You're not only offending yourself, you're not only offending God, but you're destroying your own life as well. Eventually, it will come back to hit you. It could come back to you. We have to stand up to our own works that we do, whatever that we personally come up with, that the mind that we have come up with, we have to stand up to it. We don't have to make the idea of the invisible God to sort of equate what we do or what we try, the methods that we use, and then without, even if we use it, and if it's okay to use, when we use that sort of strategy, we must correct it. We must be honest about it at some point to prove that it was only used because a child's mind is now growing and needs the guide, everyday guide that will make that child grow into an adult. So there must be a point in adult childhood for that child to know the truth, because at that point, he's almost a friend to you. If he's a child to you, he's a son, he's a friend. You have to now see, acknowledge, embrace that. And in some countries, developed countries, that's what they do, and a young person at a very early stage growing up, a young man, a young woman, has begin to have the confidence to face everything, and you see the difference between them and the other developing states which fail to sort of do their part, because they have to use that to be able to hold on to whoever their child may be for as long as they can. Because sometimes you see a child being brought up in a home, and he may grow or she may grow to an adult age and old and still had to depend and live in where he was being groomed, let's say under the parents' shelter or an institution, whichever way he can, because there is no means of getting out and progressing and finding their own life. Those measures are not there. It's economical issue which is tough, So with them, they keep on. They don't easily sort of begin to embrace that individual they are bringing up in the adult stage, in the early stage. They sort of do it in a very later stage, if it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. Somebody may live under a shelter that was taking care of, the people were taking care of him all his life and never grow up or go out of that situation. And in order to maintain and tame such a person, the measures that we see of God using God and all those things will probably be held on to for as long as that person wants. So we have to really be careful about these things. We can't allow ourselves to take things wrongly all the time. We must be very honest about these things. And as I have said, if you read, let's say, the Quran, in, let's say, Surah 9 verse 3. No, not Surah 9 verse 3. Surah 9 verse 5. Yeah. Go into Surah 9 verse 5. And you will see the advice of God to his the advice of God towards his followers. Surah 9 verse 5. We can start from 4 maybe. But the treaties are not dissolved with those pagans with whom ye have entered into alliance, and we have not subsequently failed you in aught, nor aided anyone against you, so fulfill your engagements with them to the end of their term, for God loveth the righteous. So what is it? So fulfill your engagements with them to the end of their term, for God loveth the righteous. Whatever engagement here, we'll go into 3, and we're going to 5, to verse 5, and we'll see how it is. You don't continue with that engagement to the end, whatever the end will be. They are being advised by Allah, according to the book. So if anybody believes that Allah presented this book, then that is Allah has spoken, and God has spoken. You can't look anywhere. My God speaks to me. Why should I have to look elsewhere? I trust that He's God. I know He's doing the right thing. He's telling me the right thing. It doesn't click to the mind, say, okay, but if God, I say He's omniscient, I say He's omnipotent, why would He give me that advice? This doesn't click to the mind of the Muslim, or most Muslims. Neither does it click to the mind of a Christian, or most Christians, or Buddhist, or whatever person that you may be, that The God we are thinking about is omniscient, omnipotent, and such a character